There, Ray Corcoran here. So in this week's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm just going to go over my net worth spreadsheet that I've been using for a number of years. It's not very fancy, but it works and it'll do what it needs to do for you. And I'm going to share with you the template. So I've just recreated it. These are just sample numbers on this one. But basically, what you'll be able to do with this spreadsheet is track your net worth across multiple different asset classes, and you'll be able to track, the kind of changes in your net worth in both overall and also per asset class. And the reason this is so important, obviously, if you can track your net worth every single month, just the fact that you track it will mean that you'll be able to get much better results. So just like if you're, trying to lose weight, if you track your weight every single day, naturally you can't help but start to notice how your actions affect your results. So same for finances and money. The more you track it, the more conscious you're going to get. Like subconsciously you won't be able to help yourself. You'll notice that when you do bad things money-wise, that it'll affect the numbers. And I know for me, the more that I track these things, the more conscious I am, the less keen I am to spend as well. So it is good to track. Early on, the numbers might not be great, or they might be small numbers, but they all start small and eventually they'll get bigger over time. So in this video, I'm just going to go over a walkthrough of the document. It's very, very simple. It's not very fancy designed or anything like that. This is literally how I designed it just for myself. I'm not going to sell this document or anything like that. So it's not going to be pretty and beautiful. And if you need a pretty and beautiful document for you to start saving money, then that's a bit of a cop-out. But, I sell these beautiful journals and all this sort of stuff, and I think a lot of that stuff's rubbish, to be honest. But anyways, so this is the main document, so the main sheet. So this will show, so I'll kind of go over column by column. So here I have the projected net worth. So this is just sample numbers, by the way. So if you've got a certain target you want to hit by a certain date, then you can put that in there and you can kind of see how you're tracking and if you're on, if you're actually going to get there. Here you can add in your age, so whatever month you turn, another year older, you can put that in there. I put the month and year. This is actually technically the day. It's actually 21st of January, but this is not technically correct, but I just like having Jan 21 and the month and year in there. Here's the main one. Obviously, this column is your net worth. So this is just your total. And then you'll have every column will have a corresponding change column. So this will show basically, this is the number, but this is the increase in that number over the last month. So you can start to see the rate at which you are increasing, hopefully, or decreasing. So here we've got cash, pretty straightforward, cash or cash equivalents. The change in that, you got superannuation or your retirement funds, and the change in that, and you can add in columns. So if you have other stuff that I haven't mentioned here, you just copy both of these columns, add it to the end, and you're good to go. And just double check all the formulas are the same. And then in terms of stocks, now you can break this down into more individual stocks. So you might have a separate tab just for stocks. I don't personally do that. I have the majority of my stock money in ETFs, mostly through StockSpot. So it's not a very exciting portfolio that changes all the times. But if you're a person that has lots of individual stocks, it may justify doing that. But I don't personally do that. I just lump up the total value and track it like that. Then if you have a business, I keep the business cash at bank as obviously an asset. I'm a sole director of the company, so I would claim all of that. I typically deduct an amount for any kind of, if I'm paid up to date on tax, then I would count that amount. But if I haven't paid my tax lately, sometimes I'll under report this. And this is all approximate numbers. Getting it to the exact dollar is not really that useful for me. As long as this is relatively close to the number, that should give me a relatively accurate number. Same thing for property. So this is just property. This is property equity that I have. So with me and my wife, we have multiple properties that we split 50-50. So this is just my side of the equity. And I like tracking everything on my side. And I actually, in my own personal one, I have a separate tab for her net worth as well. Even though we're a combined unit, I do like just tracking my own stuff because it's what I've been doing for years and years anyway. And I just put her stuff in there. So And I do have a calculation for the total net worth across the couple, but I don't like counting my wife's assets as my own. Then you got offset account if you have them. Car, for me personally, I don't have a lot of physical assets. I don't keep a lot of stuff. Like I've got a good laptop and cars and that sort of stuff. So that's pretty much it for assets. I don't own generally expensive stuff, so I don't personally count that. I'm sure I could count a bit more of that and that would add up, but it's not really important to me. Crypto, you can either lump that all together or you can separate it out, across multiple coins if you want to. And then in the notes column, I'll put in just any notes from that month. So sometimes I'll say I've paid my quarterly tax that month. That's why the numbers should be lower. I may have paid insurance. There may have been a big rise in the stock market. So if anything like that happens, I will mention that there. Just mainly just for my own information and help to provide a bit of context around the numbers to the left of it. So the next thing is just on the, this is a very simplified, my personal spreadsheet has got heaps of different calculations on there, but it's not really important for most people. Just any sort of stuff I want to personally calculate. And this is a spreadsheet that you can own and modify yourself. So put in, if something's important to you to track or monitor, then put that in. This is just a simple one based on the sample data, but I just do net worth over time. And then obviously, once you really do this for a long time, I've got 6 years of data from 2015 to 2021 roughly. So it's pretty cool to see. So the longer you have this document, the more exciting or interesting it gets, I find, because you can really start to see long-term trends and you can also start to see the exponential effect. So my graph is quite exponential now because after several years of going like this, now it's really starting to get momentum. So that's really exciting. And this is a document that I check multiple times per week. And there's no real reason to do that. You could probably update it once a month and that's fine. But for me, I love just staying up to date with the fluctuations in values of stuff and just seeing progress. I love seeing progress. It motivates me, makes me want to do more things to keep increasing the numbers. I treat it like a bit of a video game. And then next one's goals. So obviously this is not the most fancy design thing. So if you're a graphic designer, you can make it pretty if you want. But this is just an example. I actually have, the way this looks for my personal document is I have one for like the last probably 4 years. I think I've been doing this tab, but I just put like 5 to 7 goals max. Sometimes like 4 goals. I just say like, net worth, maybe business revenue on average and a few other things, but it's pretty simple. I'd rather have, I've done like big goal setting things. I've found that a smaller list was much more motivating and it was quite clear on what to do. So you can put in anything you want here. I've just put some examples here. And then the property portfolio tab. So I just put 10 properties in here, but if you've got 20 or more, then go nuts. But this might not have everything that you'd want to track, but it's got most of the important stuff. So we've got the address of the property, the state, postcode, repayment per month, rent that I'm getting per week. I also break it down per month and per year. I do some approximate expenses for the year. Now that might fluctuate, but I just want to work out like ballpark sort of cash flow that I could probably get. And then I also calculate based on a long-term average of 5% appreciation. I'm more out of my own curiosity. I just want to see like, how much will this add to my net worth, at least, in the early years. And obviously that will compound over time. What bank is the loan with? So, as you get multiple properties, this starts to become more and more confusing. So it's good to have all of this in the one spot so you know exactly like what loans are with which properties and what rates and which ones are fixed and what dates the fixed rate expires. And just like, the purchase price, who the property manager is for that. Sometimes there's multiple people that are, I might have 2 contacts there that I kind of work with at the same time. What's their phone number? Property manager rates. Current value of that property, how much do I owe, what's the equity total, and what's my equity. So most of the properties that we have all the properties are 50-50 split with my wife. So yeah, I just calculate my personal equity in that. And this is just sample numbers again. I do my equity percent in that property, the date that it was bought, when I can do a cash out refinance, or when would be like the time I would look to do that. It could be 6 months after I buy it. It could be 12 months after I buy it. Depends how fast it's appreciating and that sort of stuff. I also have here annual repayment, extra repayments that I can make. So for some of my interest-only loans, you're not allowed to pay as much as you want off per year. They go, you can pay up to 5,000 or 10,000 in extra payments every year. And I lose track of that. So I just put it in here so that I know that if I'm, because some of my properties, they might be 3,000 or 4,000 in extra payments that have been made in a 12-month, this is in a 12-month period, by the way. And I want to make sure that I don't get any kind of penalty for paying it off too fast, because they do have, some loans are structured like that. This is also rate, what's the interest rate after interest only ends? And if there's any kind of introductory rate that you were on, and then when does interest only period end? So if you've got 3 years of interest only, it's going to be 3 years from the date that you bought it, roughly. And then at least that can kind of prepare you. So I can look at this column and see, okay, cool, this repayment's about to jump up, because obviously interest only loans, you'll pay less for the first 2-3 years, and then it'll jump back up. So it's just more for cash flow and planning. So yeah, especially as you get multiple properties, that will get more confusing. Any other notes about the property that's important? Some properties, the water bill is included in council rates. Other states, it's not a thing. You'll get separate bills for that. So I have usually lots of notes here, just so I can keep track on all the little details about each property and each, even individual council. If you have a property registered with a certain council, sometimes they give you like a client number, that sort of stuff. So I'll put that there as well. So just mainly so I can keep tabs on everything in regards to this property. And, it's very easy to lose track of, paying the bills and how to log in and check if you're overdue on stuff. And it's just, it can get quite chaotic. So having it all here in the one document is super handy. So that's a document. So pretty much all you need to do is, I'm going to put a link below this video so you can download this and you can kind of sort of make it your own. And this is something that I personally update multiple times a week, as I said. And this is I actually call this my life tracker, because it keeps everything, finance and goal related in the one document. And it's very simple. It's not fancy, but it does the job. And it means that I am, I'm very, very clear about, how am I progressing, and pointing out any issues or anything that I think is a problem. It's all going to be captured in here as well. So once you open up the link, click File and make a copy, and then you'll have your own copy in Google Sheets, and then you can edit it to your heart's content. So I hope you found that useful. If there's anything you think I should have added maybe, or anything that you do in terms of tracking your stuff and you find it really useful, please let me know. I love hearing about what other people are doing. Maybe it might give me some good ideas. But other than that, thanks for watching. And of course, if you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you like more videos like this. Cheers.